Hi, good afternoon. These notes are on box plots, and this should be page 126 of our notebook. So at the very top of our notes, the first question says, what is a box and whisker plot? So a box and whisker plot is a graph that represents information in a 5-number summary. A box and whisker plot, sometimes just called a box plot, helps to determine if there are outliers in a data set, or you can compare 2 or more data sets. So let me show you what a 5-number summary looks like and how you graph it. So this is a box and whisker plot. So if you look right here, here is the lower extreme, which is the lowest number, also called the minimum. Then you have lower quartile, which is your Q1, your lower 25% mark. Then you have your median, which is the middle of your data. Then you have your upper quartile, which is your Q3. And then you have your maximum or your upper extreme, which is right here. So it makes this big box with a line down the middle for the median and then the 2 whiskers on the side. I just see the orange lines are there so I could see what the numbers were. All right, so if we look at the data given, the minimum, if we draw a line from down here, it looks like it's about 18. The lower quartile, then if we go all the way up here, it looks like it's about 51, 52. The median, draw the line straight down, and it looks like it's about 68. Your upper quartile looks like it's around, if that's 80 and that's 85, that's probably about 86 or 87. And then you've got your maximum, which is 100. So those are your 5-number summaries: minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and maximum. So what is a quartile? So let's begin with the median. The median, which is Q2, is a data that separates the box, or separates all the data into 2 equal parts. Once the median has been located, the data now can be separated into quartiles. So quartiles separate the original data into 4 equal pieces. Think of the word quarters. So you have 4 quarters and $1. Each quartile represents 25% of the data, which is 1/4 of the fraction. So if you look at this, it looks like this is more data, but it's not. It's just showing you that the range from the smallest number to the Q1 is just a bigger gap between each other. This is still 25% of the data. And this is 25% of the data, that's 25% of the data, and that's 25% of the data. These numbers just happen to be a little closer, these happen to be a little closer, and these happen to be the closest. Then if we go down here, what is the interquartile range? So the interquartile range is the difference between the lower quartile Q1 and the upper quartile Q3. So we also call it the IQR for short. It is useful because it represents 50% of the data and spans the center of the data. So your IQR is your box. So this is your box. So if we look here, the interquartile goes from about 52 to about 86. So the IQR is this piece right here. And that's 50% of your data. This is 25%, that's 25%, and that's 50% for a total of 100%. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open up to the inside and we're going to create some box plots. So on the inside here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put our data in order from least to greatest. So when we put them in order from least to greatest, I got 72, 78, 80, 80, 82, 84, 86, 92, 96, 98, 100, 100, and 100. So what we're going to do with this data is we're going to follow the steps below. We're going to locate the minimum and circle it. We're going to locate the maximum and circle it. So our minimum is 72 and our maximum is 100. Then from there, we're going to find the median. So this is where you get to just kind of chop them off. So if we go to the middle, it looks like we meet at 86 and they want us to box it. So 86 is our median. Then the lower quartile. So the lower quartile is the lower half. You do not include the median, so I'm going to put parentheses around my lower half and parentheses around my upper half. And now we're going to find the median of the lower half and then find the median of the upper half. So we're going to treat this as a new piece of data. So find the median of these pieces of data. So 1, 1, 2, 2. So it looks like it's going to be between 80 and 80. And what number falls between 80 and 80? 80. And then they want us to triangle it. Then we're going to do the same thing up here. So this is our upper half of the data. So we're going to find our median between these 6 pieces of data, which is going to fall between 98 and 100, which is 99. Okay. So now we have all 5 numbers. We have our Q1, or excuse me, our minimum, our Q1, our median, our Q3, and our maximum. And then we could put our data in here. So 72, 80, 86, 99, 100. Okay. Step 6, we're going to take our 5-number summary and now we're going to graph it. So we're going to draw the dots above the number to represent the 5-number summary. So find 72, and these are kind of separated a little weird, so we're just going to kind of make a little estimate. So that's 70, and that's probably like 72 and a half, and that's 74 or something like that. So we're probably going to be about right here. And then 80 is right above 80. And then 86 will be close to right here. And then 99 is going to be pretty close to 100. And then you've got 100. So those are our 5 dots. Then we're going to draw a vertical line through the box of the median. So this is our middle number. And then we're now going to draw a box from our Q1 to our Q3. So there's our box. And then now we're going to connect the whiskers, which is the lower extreme or the minimum, to our Q1, and the upper extreme or our maximum to our Q3. So there's our box and there's our whiskers. Now let's answer some questions. So what is the interquartile range? Remember, the interquartile range is your box. So how far does our box go? Well, our box goes from 80 to 99. So from 80 to 99, because remember, this is our box. And 80 to 99 is a difference of 19. So our interquartile range, the range from here to here, is 19. What percent of students scored between 72 and 86? So 72 is right here and 86 is right here. If this is 25% and this is 25%, that's going to give us 50%. And don't forget, just because this is longer than this doesn't mean that there's more data. This is still 25% of the data. This data is just more spread out. This data is more close together. This data is extremely spread out, and this data is closer together. A student received an 88 on a math test. How does he compare to the median grade? So if the median was at 86, he scored above the median. Okay. All right, so what you're going to do on your own is you're going to go ahead and practice making a 5-number summary here and here. You're going to have to put, these ones are already in order, but you're going to have to put these ones in order. Then down here, you're going to put these in order, find your 5-number summary, and create your box plot. I would suggest going all the way, I would count by 2s and skip count, just because it'll give you enough space, and go all the way to 16 so that when you're graphing it, it's not too close together. And then from there, you're going to answer these 6 questions that go along with this. All right, so go ahead and pause your video, and then I'll put the answer key up in just a moment. All right, so here's the answer key to the right-hand side. So the minimum was 3, the lower quartile 7, the median 19, the upper quartile 26, and the maximum 35. For this one, 98 was the minimum, 100 was the lower quartile, and don't forget that when you found the median, which was between 103 and 104, it was 103.5, that you to find the median of the lower half, you have to put a parenthesis around that 103 because the 103 is not the median. So you're going to have to include it in this lower data. So that's how I got 100. And then you include the 104 and you look here for the median and you get 105. So that's my 100 for my lower quartile and my 105 for my upper quartile. And then 145 was my maximum. And then if you look over here, my minimum number was 3, my lower quartile 5, my median was 8, and look, it was between 8 and 8, which was right here. So don't forget to include the 8s to find your Q1 down here and to find your Q3 up here. I got 12 for my upper quartile and 16 for my upper extreme. Then when I graphed it, this is what my box plot looks like. It looks like 50% of the data is below 8, and then 50% of the data is from 8 to 16. So my interquartile range is 7. What does the line in the box represent? So this line right here, it represents the median. What percent of the data lies inside the box? 50%, because each of these is 25%. What percent of the data lie from the middle line to the upper extreme? So from here to here, well, that's 25 and that's 25, so that's 50%. What percent of the data lie from the minimum to the box? So from this point to this point, that's 25%. And then what percent of the data lie from value 5 to 16? Well, 5 to 16. So from your Q1 to your maximum, 25, 25, 25, so that's 75%. All right, if you have any questions or if you found any mistakes, just comment at the bottom of the video, and I hope you have a great afternoon.